My name is Gwen, and I am a mom and a grandma and a business systems analyst, and I am an atheist and a humanist, and I'm openly secular.
My name is James. I'm a student. I live in New York, and I am openly secular. As soon as I could start thinking for myself, I kind of just veered away from religion. I turned 180 degrees. My dad was a pastor. He is currently not. So at my school I currently go to right now, if I were to say I'm an atheist again, I'd probably get pummeled to the ground because everybody is such a conservative, either Muslim or Christian. They looked at me differently, and they started being a little bit harsher grades-wise. So I was kind of put in the ringer there. So my grades dropped a little bit because of harshness towards me. I wasn't too happy about that, so I kind of started working a little bit harder, and I kind of work maybe 10 times harder than any other student there, and I still don't have the same grades that I have when I came out as an atheist.
I was raised in a very Christian home and went to, Christian camps, Bible school, memorized the Bible, baptized, did missionary work, summer work, taught Bible. My first husband and I were pastoring churches in upstate New York with the Southern Baptists. As I look back, there were just these moments of things that would happen that didn't fit with what I was being taught. And so one very memorable moment was when I had a chance to try and witness to a young man from Russia when we were missionaries. And he had absolutely no concept of God. And I learned that everyone had this God-shaped void, and this man didn't have it, and he had no ill effect from not believing in God. I then decided that since I was divorced, I would purchase a Christian bookstore. And as the bookstore went under, and as people said, it's because you're not praying enough, I began to just really question, to the point that I started realizing that I was answering my own prayers. And I remember crying, I don't know how to tell if it's God or me. Learning about the history of man, finding out that evolution was indeed true and the earth is not 6,000 years old. As much as I loved Ken Ham's accent, I can no longer agree with what he taught. It was a slow journey to the point that, and I think it was Julia Sweeney's Letting Go of God, when I was like, I think this is her story. Her story's my story, just I didn't realize I was giving up God altogether. And it was December when I was at one of my older daughter's homes, and I just said, honey, I need you to know that I think I'm an atheist. And that was the first time I'd used the word, and I wasn't sure what she would respond with, but she turned and looked at me with her mouth down and said, now? You couldn't have figured it out when I was a kid? And I'm really glad that my grandchildren are not growing up with the idea that they are sinful and shameful and that they are second class. When I first started talking about it, I stuck with close friends who knew me, and even those who were on the other side, or who still had faith, I guess is the way to put it. They were very friendly and supportive. They didn't necessarily agree, but they loved me, and they know I'm a thinker and I'm constantly trying to find out what's true. In February, I was on a business trip, and I was reading The God Virus and The God Delusion and God Is Not Great, kind of flipping between them, and it suddenly clicked that there was no one in my head knowing what I was thinking, and that my thoughts belonged to me, and that they were my own. And that took such a sense of anxiety away. I had lived with so much anxiety, so much fear. As a little child, I had been taught that once we died, everything we had done would be shown to the world and all of our actions would be judged. And so I had this constant fear that, any bad thought, any bad action would be judged. And that led to a lot of anxiety, especially because I had done some, when I was 15, I really questioned whether or not God was good. It never occurred to me that there might not be a God. I'm fortunate to live in northern New York where, religion really isn't a topic that comes up. My daughter lives in Kentucky, says she can't meet anybody without the topic of religion coming up. I think that's what bothers me the most, is how many years I spent teaching what I no longer believe, and how damaging some of the things I believed and taught really are. But the only thing I can hang on to is I didn't know.
She's become more relaxed than anything. Just, she was really stressed out a lot, and hey, I'm telling the truth.
I know. It's okay. You can speak freely.
But really, I think it's gotten better because she actually, understands me a little bit more.
I think belief can be damaging. It was for me. I don't have enough knowledge or experience to say that it's damaging for everyone. I mean, I have some very good friends who do still believe in God, and it's not damaging for them, and it's helpful for them, and their life seems to be good. But for me, it was very damaging, and the stereotype I had was wrong. So I would rather be open. I also don't want to hide, and I feel like because of the moving around that we did, and the number of people who knew me only as youth leader or vacation Bible school teacher or pastor's wife, that if I'm not open, that I'm somehow deceptive.